You ever wonder why some men move like they were born for greatness, while others spend their lives waiting for permission? The difference isn't talent. It isn't luck. It isn't even opportunity. It's one habit, one decision, one shift that separates the men who build empires from the boys still chasing comfort. You see, every boy starts with dreams, but the world doesn't care about dreams. It rewards discipline. And the brutal truth is this: most men never grow past boyhood because they never learned how to command themselves. They wait, they hesitate. They need motivation before movement, permission before purpose, applause before action. But the unstoppable ones? They don't wait for a feeling. They act because it's time to act. They move when it's hard. They build when no one's watching. Every man watching this right now is fighting two voices inside him: the boy who wants comfort and the man who craves conquest. The boy says, maybe tomorrow. The man says, now. The boy says, I don't feel like it. The man says, do it anyway. That's the line that divides mediocrity from mastery. Listen, life doesn't hand out crowns to the comfortable. If you want to become unstoppable, you must break the addiction to feelings. Because discipline isn't about doing it when it's easy. It's about doing it especially when it's not. Every time you ignore your excuses, you grow muscle where most men stay soft. Every time you show up tired, sore, or unmotivated, you build proof that you can trust yourself. That's the real habit, self-command. The ability to make yourself do what must be done, even when the world inside you says quit. That's what turns boys into men. That's what makes men unstoppable. And here's the truth no one told you. Nobody is coming to save you, motivate you, or drag you to your destiny. You do that alone. You earn that power through repetition, through discipline, through the daily fight between who you are and who you could be. This is where most men fall off. They want fire, but they fear the burn. But the ones who rise, they learn to live in the fire. They become it. They forge themselves until weakness burns away. Because that's the one habit every real man must master. Command yourself every day, no matter how you feel. Here's what nobody tells you about becoming a man. It's not about growing older. It's about growing disciplined. Age doesn't make you mature. Responsibility does. And responsibility begins the moment you stop negotiating with your emotions. Every time you say, I don't feel like it, and still do it anyway, that's a man being built. Every time you move through the discomfort instead of running from it, that's the moment your masculinity strengthens. Because real strength isn't loud, it's consistent. It's quiet, deliberate, daily domination over the weaker version of yourself. Discipline is the most masculine form of self-respect. It's how a man proves he can trust himself when no one else is watching. You can't call yourself a leader if you can't even lead yourself out of bed. You can't call yourself a king if your emotions control your every move. The greatest men didn't get there because they felt ready. They got there because they showed up anyway. The world doesn't reward effort. It rewards endurance. Boys quit when it gets hard. Men keep going because it's hard. That's the difference. That's the transformation. You start to notice something when you live with discipline. Your confidence stops depending on results. You feel power in the process itself. You don't need validation because the grind becomes your proof. And that's when people start to feel your presence. They can sense a man who commands himself. You'll see it in your posture, your eyes, your silence. A man who practices self-command walks differently. He talks less but means more. He stops chasing comfort and starts chasing conquest. That's when your purpose starts finding you. Because the truth is, purpose doesn't come to boys. It comes to men who have earned the strength to carry it. And that strength comes from one thing: repetition through resistance. Every time you say no to the easy way, you build the muscle that carries your future. Every time you wake up early when no one will notice, you're building armor around your mind. You're not just building habits. You're building a man who can be trusted under pressure. Understand this: the transformation isn't one moment of motivation. It's the slow burn. It's the quiet war against your weakness. And every day you win that war, even by 1 inch, you step further from boyhood and closer to mastery. Because every disciplined act is a brick in the empire of a man who cannot be stopped. Now it's your turn. You've heard enough words. You've listened to enough motivation. But motivation is just noise until it becomes motion. The question is, will you act when no one's clapping? Will you rise when no one's watching? Will you choose the pain that builds you over the comfort that kills you? Because that's where men are made. Not in the spotlight, but in silence. When the alarm hits before sunrise. When your mind says quit, but your spirit says keep going. That's the battlefield of every man who wants to become unstoppable. Understand this: you can't fake discipline. You can post quotes. You can wear motivation on your shirt. But if your habits are weak, your words mean nothing. You want respect? Earn it. You want confidence? Keep promises to yourself. You want peace? Control your emotions instead of letting them control you. Because every time you let emotion lead, the boy wins. Every time you do what's hard and necessary, the man takes over. And if you keep choosing the man, soon the boy won't even have a voice anymore. That's the mission. That's the one habit, self-command. Every day you make yourself do what must be done, not because it's easy, not because it's fun, but because it's who you are. And when that becomes your standard, you stop competing with other men. You start competing with your potential. You stop chasing validation and start chasing victory. Not over the world, over yourself. That's when life starts bending to your will. That's when people feel your presence before you even speak. That's when you walk into a room and the energy changes. Not because you demand attention, but because you earned it. So here's the challenge. Starting tomorrow, no more waiting for permission. No more, I'll start when I feel like it. You move because it's time to move. You show up when you don't feel ready. You train when you're tired. You execute when others make excuses. That's the one habit that changes everything. The habit of commanding yourself. That's how you stop being a boy. That's how you become unstoppable. Because a man on fire doesn't need motivation. He is the motivation. He burns through weakness, through doubt, through fear, until nothing remains but discipline and destiny. This is Man on Fire, the Self-Mastery and Masculine Discipline series. Now go do what men do. Command yourself and become unstoppable.